My husband, who has completely left the upbringing of our 2 daughters to me, even on that day when he came home late as usual, he casually said this as if nothing happened.
Hey, starting tomorrow, I'll be on a business trip for 5 days.
Huh? You've been saying for a while that tomorrow's the kid's birthday party.
It's a sudden business trip. It's work, so there's no helping it.
While my husband shamelessly said it with a half smile, I clenched my fist in anger, but somehow managed to force a smile. I understand. Well, I guess there's no helping it.
I'm glad you understand. Enjoy your time with the kids and the party.
Saying that, my husband went to take a bath in a cheerful mood. Upon seeing that, I resolved to take a certain action. The following week, when my husband returned, he was hit with shocking words from our daughters. My name is Julia Rivers. I'm a 36-year-old working mother. I work as an elementary school teacher. I always loved children and wanted to work in a job involving them. So, when I passed the teacher recruitment exam, I was genuinely happy. Since then, I've always put my students first and worked diligently. Before I knew it, despite being in my late 20s, I didn't have a boyfriend. My parents started telling me, maybe it's time to think about your own happiness, and I began to feel anxious. In a hurry, I registered with a marriage consultation agency. In that agency, I was introduced to Noah, who would later become my husband, after several introductions. Noah was an ordinary office worker working for a small to medium-sized company. From our first meeting, Noah was kind to me and escorted me with grace. I quickly fell in love with Noah. In this way, we started dating and got engaged a year later. We received blessings from both families, completed our registration, and had the wedding ceremony. On the night after the wedding, Noah said to me,
Julia, let's build a happy family from now on.
Thank you, Noah. How many children do you want?
Whoa, you're thinking ahead. But I definitely want to. I like the idea of a lively family.
That sounds good. Since I love children too, let's do our best. About half a year into our marriage, it was soon revealed that I was pregnant. Noah jumped for joy and lovingly supported me throughout the pregnancy. And then I gave birth to our first daughter. Both of our parents were delighted by the arrival of our little one. At that time, I was at the peak of happiness. Since our parents lived far from our home, Noah and I decided to handle parenting, mostly on our own. I took 3 months of maternity leave, but Noah, due to his busy work schedule, couldn't take any parental leave. However, this turned out to be more challenging than anticipated. Our child cried a lot at night and was generally fussy. She would sleep if I held her, but the moment I put her in the crib, she would start crying intensely. As a result, I had to hold her throughout most of the night. While Noah genuinely helped with parenting during the sacred early period, he gradually started to neglect childcare. Moreover, when Mia cried in the middle of the night, he began saying things like this.
It's so noisy. Hey, hurry up and make Mia stop crying.
Nighttime fussiness is unavoidable, isn't it? There's nothing I can do about it. While looking at Mia, I answered like that, but Noah still seemed irritated.
I have work again tomorrow. Let me get some sleep.
I haven't had a decent night's sleep in days either. Can't you step in for a change once in a while?
Huh? Why me? You're on maternity leave and working during the day.
But we're raising 2 children together. Noah didn't listen to my words until the end and ended up sleeping in the living room instead of the bedroom. When faced with the significant challenge of childcare, even couples who have been close can become tense. I read something like that in a magazine. However, I had somehow brushed it off, thinking it didn't apply to us. Yet to my surprise, Noah and I found ourselves in this awkward situation. While I struggled with concerns about my relationship with my husband, there was no choice but to focus on the immediate task of childcare. After that, Noah continued to contribute very little to childcare, and I ended up taking on the main responsibilities. Somehow, Mia grew up and turned 3, and some time passed. One day, it was revealed that I was pregnant with our second child. Fortunately, the pregnancy was progressing smoothly. One day after Mia had fallen asleep, I sat down with Noah. "Hey, Noah, for the next child's birth, can you take parental leave?" Noah's face twisted in response.
Huh? There's no way I can take parental leave.
But this time, we still have little Mia, and no matter what, I'll be overwhelmed.
No matter what you say, it's impossible. You'll manage being a mother of two, no matter what.
No matter how many times I said it, he seemed adamant about not taking parental leave. While Mia had grown considerably, she was still at the demanding age of 3. If you added taking care of the newborn into the mix, it was going to be quite challenging. So I made a certain decision. "Noah, I'm thinking of going back to my parents' home for a while, taking advantage of giving birth there, to take care of the children." I explained to Noah about my mother retiring this year and having more time. It would be challenging for him to commute here regularly, so I've decided to take Mia with me and spend a few months at my parents' house. Upon hearing this, Noah seemed to have a somewhat relieved expression.
I see. If your mom can help, that's reassuring. It's a good idea.
Noah said this without showing much sadness about not being able to see me and Mia for a while. "Well, yeah, I'll send you updates about Mia and the newborn through emails regularly, okay? Are you going to be okay alone, Noah?"
I've been living alone for a long time. Go ahead and take your time.
"Thank you." And so I took Mia, who was 3 years old, and returned to my parents' home for about 6 months. Shortly after that, I gave birth to our second child. It was another girl, and we named her Tara. Life at my parents' home was quite comfortable. With my parents taking good care of Mia and Tara, I was able to secure more sleep and gained some alone time for myself. When I finally had the chance to have tea at a cafe after a long time, I felt like I could finally return to being human. Mia started to laugh more often than when I was doing solo parenting, and she also continued to grow rapidly. While staying at my parents' house, I often sent Noah photos of Mia and Tara. Although Noah's reactions varied, there were times when he said things like,
"They're cute,"
or
"I miss them."
so I felt reassured. And so the 6 months period of staying with my parents came to an end. I was able to restore my energy and I gained confidence in taking care of both children. Finally, I could see Noah again. With that thought in mind, I returned home. My husband greeted us with a smile, saying, "Welcome back." It seemed that Noah had also been refreshed. While having a meal together and talking about the children's developments over the past 6 months, I noticed something. "Noah, what about the wedding ring?" My husband hadn't been wearing the matching wedding ring we had since our marriage.
It's a bit awkward, but I actually lost it.
He said this with an uncomfortable expression, and I was shocked. "Is that so? Maybe we should consider getting a new one?"
No, we're going to need money for parenting, and I haven't thought about replacing it. But even if the ring is gone, we're still a married couple, right? Is there a problem?
"Yeah, you're right. There's nothing we can do about it." Just like that, Noah stopped wearing his wedding ring. Perhaps it started around the time I returned from my parents' home. Noah often mentioned being busy, and our home became frequently vacant. Weekdays were filled with constant overtime, and even on weekends he would say he had work-related commitments and leave. Naturally, he didn't help with housework or childcare, and all the responsibilities fell on me. Despite the daily busyness, I never doubted my husband. As time passed, our daughters continued to grow rapidly. Mia entered the 1st grade, and Tara turned 3. I had returned to teaching as my profession. Noah had been extremely busy for the past few years, and he continued to be frequently away from home. Perhaps because of this, while our daughters still called Noah Dad, they were almost always stuck to me, having little expectations from their father. Honestly, it wasn't an ideal situation. One day when Noah returned from work, I decided to share my thoughts with him. "Hey, Noah, Mia is turning 7 and Tara will be 3 next month, you know? Do you remember their birthday party?"
Huh? Birthday party? Oh, right. It's that time already.
Upon muttering this with apparent disinterest, I told Noah, "The kids feel lonely because you're always busy. How about for the birthday party we all go to church together as a family and then have a meal afterwards?" My husband didn't seem enthusiastic, but after pleading with him several times, he finally nodded reluctantly. We need to create memories during the birthday party and strengthen the family bond. That's what I was thinking at the time. After that, for a while, I was making home visits to families of my students in areas I wouldn't usually go, including Tara's non-regular visitation zone. The next thing I knew, it was 5:30 p.m. and I was in a hurry to pick up Tara at nursery school. In the midst of the hustle and bustle, I suddenly look up and see a shocking scene. What? Noah, who's that woman next to him? I was surprised to see Noah walking away arm in arm with a strange woman. I quickly asked a mommy friend who lived in the same apartment building to take my daughters and followed them. They then went into a pub. I followed without being noticed and took a seat nearby. I was shaking with anger as I recorded the overheard conversation between Noah and the woman. So that's what it was about. I'll never forgive you. I left the restaurant without their noticing and quickly returned home. Sometime later, the day before my daughter's birthday party.
Hey, I'm going on a 5-day business trip starting tomorrow.
Noah came home late and said nothing as he took off his suit. Huh? Tomorrow is the kids' birthday party. Wasn't it planned in advance?
It's a sudden business trip. It's for work. There's nothing I can do about it.
Noah's nonchalant, unapologetic half-smile angered me, but I clenched my fist and forced a smile. I understand. Well, if that's the case, there's no helping it.
I'm glad you understand. Enjoy the birthday party with the kids.
With those words, Noah happily went to take a bath. I immediately made a call to someone. The next day, Noah left on a business trip. I had contacted my parents the day before, asking them to accompany us for the birthday party. Thanks to that, my parents arrived early in the morning, and we were able to conclude the birthday party without making our daughters feel lonely. After my parents left, I had a conversation with my 2 daughters. Mia, Tara, listen carefully. They listened earnestly to my story. The week passed, and Noah returned from his business trip.
I'm back, you two. Missed your dad, huh? I bought souvenirs.
Noah casually said this at the doorstep. Then Tara, our eldest daughter, asked, "Who's the uncle?"
Huh?
Next, our second daughter, Tara, chimed in.
"Did the uncle go somewhere?"
Huh? Huh?
Facing a bewildered Noah, I smiled and told the kids, "It's time to go to your rooms now." 2 of them replied, "Yes, Mom," and went back to their room together.
What's going on? Why are they calling me uncle? What did you fill their heads with?
Noah, with a mix of agitation and anger, turned bright red. I calmly told him. I conveyed it to the children. They were told, "Dad is not Dad anymore, he's just a stranger."
Huh?
To someone who didn't even show up for the birthday party, you don't have the right to be called Dad.
Why are you getting angry over something like that? I told you it was work.
I calmly replied to Noah, who spat angrily at me. "Oh, work. When I contacted your company, they said you weren't on a business trip, but taking paid leave. And apparently, you took it during a genuinely busy period."
Huh?
Your colleague said something like, "He told us a family member fell ill and was hospitalized. There was an important meeting, so it was troublesome, but he took paid leave for that." So, who was hospitalized?
Oh, well, actually, it was my mom.
I tried contacting your mom just to be sure, but both your dad and your mom are doing well, unchanged. I sighed as Noah's eyes swam. The truth is, it wasn't a business trip or nursing care, but a cheating trip, right?
Huh? That's ridiculous. What are you talking about?
At that moment, I presented several photos taken some time ago. In those pictures, Noah was seen arm in arm with another woman strolling through a spa town and checking into the same room.
What is this?
I explained to him. Immediately after planning the birthday party, I was on a home visit and saw you, Noah, and a strange woman walking the streets. I overheard your conversation at the pub you went to at that time. When you said we have a birthday party coming up, and the other woman, feeling jealous, suddenly suggested I want to go on a trip on that day, right? I never thought you'd choose a cheating trip over our daughter's birthday party, but you did. So, when the topic of your business trip came up, I requested an investigation from a private detective, and we got conclusive evidence. I could no longer say anything, so I confronted him. People from your company informed me that a female colleague had taken a day off at the same time. She is your junior, right? I know about your affair within the company from the detective's findings. And it's been going on since Tara was born.
No, it's not like that. It was just a fling with her.
Facing my husband, who was turning pale, I thrust the pre-filled divorce papers at him. You and I are getting divorced. I'll make sure you pay the alimony for the affair and child support for our daughters.
No, I don't want to get divorced.
Then, shall we go to court? I'll do whatever it takes to divorce you. Noah's shoulders slumped, and he signed the alimony papers and the divorce papers. I pushed the package luggage towards Noah. As Noah tried to leave the entrance in a dejected manner, I delivered my final words. Oh, about the workplace affair, I informed your company with the evidence.
Huh?
Your boss was in a bad mood, you know. I'm looking forward for you to go to the office. After announcing that, I closed the door and locked it in front of my husband, who turned pale with a stunned expression. Later, Noah and I divorced. I received $30,000 in alimony, and he agreed to pay $1,000 per month in child support. I demanded consolation money from Noah's affair partner as well, but it seems they finally broke up due to the dispute over that matter. After I reported Noah's affair, rumors quickly spread throughout his company. Noah's affair partner chose to resign voluntarily, and Noah faced disciplinary action. Despite whispers and gossip among colleagues about Noah's workplace affair, he continues to work every day in what seems to be a living hell, unable to quit his job due to the obligation of child support payments. Noah, you'll have no career prospects, no family, and most of what you do work for will disappear in child support. Even knowing that, I have no sympathy whatsoever. I think he deserved it. On the other hand, with the settlement money, I moved and started a new life. Since my daughters weren't particularly attached to their father, they seemed fine with the divorce. Lately, both of them have started helping with household chores, which brings me great joy. Looking ahead, I want to embrace a bright and positive life, eagerly anticipating the growth of my beloved daughters.